You've just been hired by an online bookstore to build and maintain databases that can store information on millions of books and customers. But how do you even begin to create and alter databases that store constantly expanding information or process millions of orders from all over the world? The answer to these questions lies in SQL create and read commands. In this video, you'll learn how to create a database using SQL syntax, and you'll also discover how to drop or delete a database. However, before you create a database, you first need a clear idea of its purpose. For example, if you're building a database for an online bookshop, then your database needs to record data like book titles, authors, customers, and sales. The data on these topics must be stored and organized in relevant tables in a database. Users can then access, retrieve, and update the data as needed. So how can you create a database using SQL syntax? To create a database, just type the create and database keywords. These keywords are then followed by the name of your database. But what about removing or dropping a database? To drop a database, just type the keywords drop and database. Then follow these keywords with the name of the database you want to remove. Let's look at these keywords in action. To create a database, I need to use SQL syntax. To demonstrate, let's create a second bookstore database using SQL syntax. First, I type the keywords create and database, followed by the name of my new database. In this case, the database is called bookstore2_db. I always use a meaningful and relevant name when creating a new database. This helps to make it easier to document my work. Database names must also be unique and can only have a maximum of 63 characters. If my database name doesn't meet these requirements, then an error message will appear. Finally, I add a semicolon to the end of the statement. Then I run the statement, and the new database bookstore_db2 appears on the left-hand sidebar. So, I've created a second database. I can also remove databases using SQL statements. First, I select the SQL tab. Then I input my query in the code box that appears. I type the keywords drop and database followed by the name of the database I want to delete. In this case, it's bookstore_db. Now I run the query. Then SQL deletes the database. In this video, you learned how to create and delete databases using SQL syntax. Great work.